Welcome back, dreamers, to the Theory Hub, where we discuss things that probably won't happen. But hey, at least it's fun, right? And today let's continue with a video about Minecraft, the open world game with the most mystical forces in the gaming world. In it, there is a character about whom people have very little information. That is the Warden. So what is it and where does it originate from? Let's theorize about it right after this with me, Lander. Today's topic will be the true identity of the Warden and the mystery of the ancient city. Let's get started right after this. One, Minecraft story. Do you think Minecraft is just a kid's game? No, the story is complex. Then you might be a bit mistaken there. On the occasion of the release of version 1.19, with many exciting changes, today I will guide you to decode one of the game's most mysterious creatures, the Warden, also known as the Jailer. Let's get started. Introducing the Warden. As of now, Minecraft's reach has been immense in the gaming community. Generally, everyone knows about this game. So introducing Minecraft might seem a bit redundant. Instead, let's get into the main content, which is to decode the existence of an extremely powerful creature, the Warden. However, before we get into the details, we probably need to learn some information related to it. Origin of the Warden. It is known that the earliest information about the Warden appeared around mid-2020. At that time, it was also called by a few old names, such as Stalker or Hollow. And of course, its appearance at that time was very different from the present. It was not until the Minecraft Live 2021 event that this mob was named and had its current appearance. By the end of 2021, the Warden began to officially appear in the game, from the Snapshot 22 BW12, a trial version. Since then, the Warden has been continuously upgraded in animation, attack moves, and some very special abilities, distinguishing features of the Warden. Specifically, the first thing to mention is that the Warden is the first mob in the game that is blind. That is, it cannot see players or any other creatures around. However, to compensate for this defect, the Warden possesses extremely sensitive ears, capturing vibrations and sounds to locate the environment and to determine the location of living creatures. One thing to note is that the Warden only appears in the deep dark area, but it was not there from the beginning, but is only activated when a player accidentally wanders into its land. Mechanics of the Warden. When entering the deep dark area, players can find an area called the Ancient City. Most of the space here is covered by a type of block called Skulk, similar to an infection originating from another block called the Skulk Catalyst. After a creature dies near this block, the experience that falls from them is absorbed, and from there, the adjacent blocks also transform. This is also why breaking Skulk blocks will yield a small amount of XP to the player. But that's not the whole story. Above the Skulk blocks, there is also a sensor block that functions to pick up sound signals from the environment. Here's the issue. Once a player or any creature makes too much noise, the sensor block will transmit a signal to the Skulk Shrieker. From there, a large creature will appear and furiously attack the intruder. That is the Warden, fighting the Warden. I advise you not to confront this monster because it has a lot of health, up to 500 GP. It is strong and extremely dangerous. The wisest move when encountering the Warden is to limit noise. You can tiptoe or place wool blocks to move without being detected. But best of all, stay away from it as fast as possible, because if you linger around its area for too long, instead of using its hands, the Warden will use its nose to sniff out its prey. Once detected, you just have to say goodbye to your ancestors. If you think that's not enough, the Warden also has a long-range attack that can take about 10 health points, equivalent to 5 hearts in one shot. More terrifyingly, this attack can penetrate any obstacle. That means even if you are wearing full diamond armor with protection enchantments, you still cannot withstand the power of the Warden. This makes the Warden even more difficult than both the Wither and the Ender Dragon. So how did such a powerful creature suddenly appear in the overworld? To answer that question, let's delve into the details. First, let's explore and understand the new area appearing in version 1.19. As soon as you set foot in this place, the first thing that catches your eye is a giant gate, somewhat resembling an altar placed at the center of the area. From there, it radiates in many directions around our ancient structures, most of which have been damaged. Overall, this is clearly evidence that some civilization once existed underground, or at least they were buried underground for some reason. Perhaps these residents were not necessarily the ancient builders because, with their building capabilities, it would be difficult to construct such a large city. So let's temporarily call the vanished civilization Skulkers for now. Hypothesis about Skulkers. When mentioning this, many of you may wonder if this place could have been built by the ancient builders. However, one thing to note is that the existence of the ancient builders is only in Minecraft Story Mode, a game released by Telltale. Mojang itself has long confirmed that Minecraft Story Mode is not canon, so any theories it brings will not affect the original universe of Minecraft. Therefore, I do not rely on that to support my theory. Around the ancient city area, there are still many pieces of evidence to showing that the people who once lived here had reached an advanced level of scientific and technological development. One example is the hidden room located beneath the altar that I mentioned earlier. Here, the player's task is to find the solution inside some chests, and from there, open the door leading to the altar. However, usually no one does that, but most players just take everything from these chests. Once inside the room, the player will see a fairly complex redstone automation system. This shows that the builders of this relic site must have had very intelligent brains. Moreover, the giant gate itself is built from a special material called reinforced deep slate. This is an extremely hard stone, perhaps only afraid of being indented. Even if you use an enchanted efficiency diamond pickaxe, it still takes at least 82.5 seconds to break one of these blocks. The remarkable thing is that there is absolutely no recipe in the game to create this stone block. So, it is very likely that the recipe has been lost for a long time, and only those ancient people knew how to create such a stone. Mystery of the ancient city. The story doesn't end here. The more we explore the ancient city, the more suspicious points we discover. Around the altar, there are many candles, as if the residents here once performed some mysterious ritual. In addition, many walls are engraved with the pattern of a face, and you can easily recognize that the face must symbolize some creature, like the face of a creeper on a sandstone block, the face of a guardian on a quartz block, or a supplementary wither on a metal block. No doubt the face on the reinforced deep slate block will represent the Warden, and those ancient people likely worship the Warden as a powerful entity. 2. Mysterious story. Wait, there is a very contradictory detail here. Around the ancient city, many paths are built from skulk blocks. As I said, moving on these blocks will produce noise, attracting the Warden. Could it be that the ancient people were actually being forced to live with the Warden, so they found ways to cope like this? The interesting answer lies in disc number 5. During gameplay, you can search for and collect pieces of this disc placed in chests scattered around the ancient city. Unlike other games, the story is mostly in cutscenes, but with Minecraft, the story is embedded in these discs. The player's job is to listen to decode them. Through research, it seems that MatPat is the first YouTuber tested to decode the sounds in this disc number 5. I will rely on his analysis to recreate it as follows. At the beginning, you will hear sounds like those from inside a cave. Then there are footsteps, the sound of fire, and the sound of a bat. Suddenly each step becomes louder, as if a group of people is marching. Next, the disc plays a normal piece of music, and immediately after that, you hear the sound of a person mining near the area with Skulk. He creates various other sounds and then seems to panic while trying to perform a task. Suddenly, a sound similar to TNT exploding echoes. Think about what else could make a sound like TNT besides the wither. The sound gets louder, indicating that the wither is about to reach this person's location. But then, the sounds of fighting are heard, followed by a mysterious sound as if a space gate is being opened. Next, the sound of the Skulk sensor appears, along with the roar of the Warden. The disc then ends with a sound that is gradually lowered. If you listen carefully, you will notice that it is very similar to the sound of an atom dying. What could the story be? The story could be arranged as follows. In ancient times, the civilization of the Skulkers seemed to be threatened by the Wither. One day, they discovered that a Wither was about to attack the city. Soldiers were immediately mobilized. Then, a mysterious person, possibly acting as a wizard or something similar, was performing a ritual. This person successfully opened a gate to another dimension, and from there, summoned the Warden. With the terrifying power of this entity, the Warden easily defeated the Wither. But at that moment, the Skulkers realized that they had summoned something they could not control, and what was to come came. The civilization of the Skulkers collapsed. The appearance of the Warden also brought the infection of Skulk blocks, eroding buildings and mines, absorbing the souls of the Skulkers after they died. The Skulk blocks that players discover may very well contain the souls of those unfortunate people. That's all the content and mysteries surrounding the mob, the Warden, in Minecraft. Thank you very much for sticking with the video. If you like our theories, then please leave a number 1. If you are not satisfied with anything, also don't hesitate to let us know. And don't forget to suggest a theory hub about the topics you want to see so we can serve you better. This is Lander from the Theory Hub, wishing you all a great day.